Yeah. Siege. Riley. Taz. Yeah. Set me free and give me death, there ain't no other choices. When I lay down to go to sleep, I keep on hearing voices. Little whispers in my head, man, is you fake a lawyer? Why no water, death designer, baby, pick your poison. These little demons living underneath my bed, creeping.
What's up, guys? I've been watching too much Peter McKinnon. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies. Today, I feel like every time I come out here for the last month or 6 weeks or so, I feel like I'm saying today's the last nice day we're gonna have, so we gotta make use of the courts. And in my defense, you know, I've been retired for 10 years. 10 years ago, it's almost the middle of November, and 10 years ago 60-degree days didn't happen in November. By the time Halloween came around, the season was well over with. So global warming is real, kids. Just keep that in mind. So today I figured we'd work on ball handling with an emphasis on agility. The point and goal being to try to push my legs, fatigue them, and then come back tomorrow while the weather's still good, and with my legs being hopefully fatigued and or sore, see how my body handles trying to score under those kind of conditions. I thought that while I'm out here practicing my handles and my agility, we could talk about the features of a good basketball. What makes a basketball quality and a good choice. It's only been a few weeks, but like I'm out of shape already. This is not a good sign for next spring. So as you guys saw in last week's video of my review of this ball, also the giveaway for this ball, if you want to be entered into the giveaway, the description will be down below. But as you guys saw, when I'm evaluating a ball, when I'm reviewing it for its quality and how much value it has to me, I have 5 criteria. So it's what material the ball is made out of, the pebbling of the ball, the grip channels of the ball, its durability, and its price, with a 6th criteria maybe being what's its intended use. But for us, it's usually always going to be outdoor play every day, so that's its intended use. And I wanted to elaborate a little bit on each of those features so you guys have a better understanding of what I mean, so that when you are choosing a ball for yourself, you have a criteria of your own that you can go ahead and refer to when you're trying to decide what ball you want, what's right for you, and what is actual good quality. I don't know if the last move was a carrying move or not. It might have been. Question is what it get called out here. So number 1, talking about the make of the ball, the material it's made of. Most of the time out here, it's always going to be rubber balls. When you're talking about the park, when you're talking about everyday play, usually you're going to be having a rubber ball. But not all rubber balls are created equal. There is a distinct difference between cheap, bad rubber balls and quality, good rubber balls. The way you tell a good ball from a bad ball when it comes to its rubber is when you're at the store and you are feeling the balls on the shelf, right? Cheaper, bad rubber balls will have more give to them. So you'll squeeze the ball, and when you squeeze it, it'll have a lot of give to it. You'll be able to actually squeeze the ball, and not because it's underinflated, but because the rubber is cheap, so it bends when you grip it. Also, when you pick it up off the shelf and you're holding it, it'll feel lighter than you expect. Good rubber balls, right? When you squeeze them, there's resistance there, and you can feel that the rubber is thicker than on the cheaper balls. And then when you pick it up and hold it and feel it and gauge its weight, it will feel heavier than cheap balls. That's how you tell good rubber from bad rubber when you're in the store.
Baby. Yeah. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come.
Really uncomfortable trying to, I feel like I'm forcing dribble moves, like they're not coming naturally. Anyway, number 2, the pebbling of the ball. Now when you are talking about rubber balls, the pebbling is even more important than on other makes of balls, because higher grade balls made of synthetic or composite or straight up leather are softer, and so they don't need aggressive pebbling to have good grip. When you're talking about rubber balls, because they're more abrasive, because they're not as giving when it comes to the material they're made out of, they need to have more aggressive pebbling, and thus the pebbling becomes more important when you're talking about grip. So the way you tell good pebbling on a rubber ball is the aggressiveness of it, how pronounced it is, because you need a layer of pebbling that's going to get broken down over the first couple weeks of use. And if the pebbling isn't as aggressive when you buy a ball, if it's not as pronounced, then it's going to get worn down even quicker. You want a good layer of good pronounced aggressive pebbling on your ball, so that after the first couple weeks when you're breaking in your ball, you will lose some of that pebbling, but from there on the rest of your ball's lifespan will pretty much be how it feels once you wear off that first layer of pebbling on your ball after the first couple weeks. From there on, the next year, the next season or two, that's the kind of grip it's going to have. I feel like I'm not selling enough when it comes to that jab step. Gotta get better at that. Number 3 is the grip channels on the ball. Now, grip channels are a nice luxury to have, but they are not a necessity. Like on this ball, they're there, but they're not very pronounced. You can feel them, you can use them, they do work, but they are not a necessity, but they are very nice to have when you can get them. So good grip channels from bad grip channels are when they're just more noticeable, when you can just feel them. You want to be able to put your hand on the ball while you're dribbling, when you catch a pass, when you go to set up your jumper, whatever it is. You want to be able to feel those grip channels while you're in motion of doing that. And so cheaper balls with bad grip channels, you can't really tell, you can't really feel them. You know, you have the more pronounced they are, the better they are, the better you can just put your hand on the ball without looking at it, you know, catch a pass and feel the channels on your fingertips. Bad grip channels are just kind of non-existent. They don't really help. What they're supposed to do is allow you to have precision with the way you hold and grip the ball. If they're not really noticeable, if they're not really pronounced, then they're just not good grip channels. This is not going as well as I had hoped. So durability. Durability is more kind of straightforward, right? It's kind of easier to tell if a ball is going to be durable or not. You take what the material is that it's made out of, you take its pebbling and its grip channels, and with that you can kind of get a perceived idea of what its durability is going to be. When you're at the store, the way you can tell if a ball is probably going to have good durability as opposed to a cheap ball that's not going to last you and has bad durability is, well, you'll just be able to tell. You'll be able to feel it. If the ball feels cheap, it's gonna perform cheaply. It's not going to last very long at all. If it feels heavy duty, if it feels heavier, if it feels like it's made out of heavier, more sturdy material, then that's a good sign that it's going to last you for as long as you expect it to last. Now again, we're talking about outdoor balls that are intended for everyday use, so you can't expect 4 or 5 years of perfect conditions out of these balls. But when you're at the store, the best you can do to understand if a ball is going to have good durability or not is, how does it feel? How's the construction feel? Does it feel flimsy? Does it feel cheap? Does it feel like it's going to break down soon? Or does it feel like quality? Is there a heft there? Is there resistance there when you squeeze it, and then when you pull through, is there resistance there? If that's the case, then you probably have a good ball with a good durability. Feels like everything is off today, like my timing, my balance. I can't lean into the crossover to like sell it properly. It's frustrating, but also at the same time I look forward to having next spring to work on it. So lastly, price is kind of an individual kind of thing, right? It depends on you and what your budget is and how much you're comfortable spending. But the bottom line question you always need to be asking yourself is, does the ball do what you need it to do for as long as you think you're going to need it to do it for you for? That's a weird way to put it. Let's try that again. Is this ball going to last me for as long as I need it to? And during that time, is it going to do what I need it and expect it to do, right? When you're at the store, you can't take the ball out of its packaging and start using it and testing it right there. All you can do is kind of feel it, right? So you can only make the best guess that you can, and taking into account all of the prior criteria that I listed, do you think the ball is going to perform for you the way you need it to, the way you intend it to? Do you think it's going to last you? If a yes, then obviously that's probably a good ball for you. Now, you're not always going to get that right. It's hard to tell when all you can do is feel the ball at the store, but for the most part, as long as you're cognizant, as long as you pay attention, as long as you take all that stuff into account, you'll usually be able to gauge a good ball from a bad ball and then make the right call as to whether or not the price is suitable for what you want to pay. As you get tired, it becomes even more and more difficult to have the stamina to explode the way you want when you're trying to get your handles, your ball handling to go the way you want, and to have the explosion that you're going to need to sell a move in one way or another.
Yeah, set me free and give me death.
That combined with the fact that it's like 4 o'clock and the sun's about to set doesn't help, I guess, but no excuses. So those are the features of a good ball. When you put them all together, you have a good ball. You have a good rubber, you have good pebbling, you have good grip channels, you can then perceive good durability, and then all that together you can perceive a good price for what you want to pay for a ball.
Yeah, here we come.
Tomorrow I'm going to be back out here. I assume my legs are going to feel tired and sore tomorrow. And then I'm going to test them trying to score in all different kinds of ways to see how I do while my body's under that kind of stress, because I assume that's the way it's going to be most of the time next spring and probably into the summer. So I will make a follow-up video on that and how that went. Make sure you hit that notification button so you're notified of that video. If you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again. I hope to see you out here some more before December. Until then, see you guys next week.
Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come.